Don't you kill that spider. Joyanne, get a glass. I know you have
I am not putting a spider in a glass.
You can wash it.
Red rum. Red rum. Red rum.
Let's go. A 3.
A 2. A 1.
Hey, everybody, welcome to Read This, Read That. I am Jackie Reed.
I'm Joyanne Reed. Apparently.
What is this from? It's from something.
Hey.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Hey.
Hey. At the time of this recording, I was supposed to be there with you.
Yeah.
In DC for the National Convention of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
But I had some things going on here, which I'll talk about in a bit, so I could not make it. But you are there on the ground, and I know you're having a fabulous time. So many people are there. I wish I could be there.
I know. I was looking forward to getting to hang out with you in person in my city. Well, I mean, it's my adopted city.
Right.
So it was going to be fun, and it's an important convention because it's in the founding city, so it's going to be cool.
Yeah, I was coming straight for your refrigerator, girl.
I know that's right. I dodged a bullet.
You did. Tiffany was coming too, girl. We were coming over. Let me tell you, Tiffany Cross was trying to convince me to bring you a couple of the kittens. He was like, just bring them. We can convince her to keep them. I said, let me tell you something about Joyanne. She don't want no more pets up in that house.
I should have never brought y'all two together. Y'all two are like the Thelma and Louise of cat distribution.
Of animal activism,
animal
girl.
Distribution. Well,
we are still talking about doing a show together. We really are talking about it.
I think you should.
Yeah.
Animal rescue show. You should. You should.
We'll see. It'll be fun.
Your little post about giving away the kittens, half of whom have my kids' names, was actually hilarious.
So cute, girl. The personalities. So I got the sexes all wrong.
But you know what? That made me feel seen, because remember, we had a cat named, well, first of all, we had a cat named Spooky, and we were not sure if Spooky was boy or girl for quite a while, but Spooky was definitely a girl. But then we had a cat named Isis, and we named the cat Isis because we thought it was a girl. We looked on the other side. We didn't see no ping, ping, ping. So we're like, well, that's got to be a girl. And the cat was Isis until we had to go out of town. And we're like, well, let's drop the cat off and go ahead and get the cat spayed, because it was a rescue cat. And because we found the cat, Mr. Isis was one of the litter of kittens who were born at the NBC local affiliate in Florida. And so we rescued him. He was the littlest. He was the runt. And so nobody wanted him. They all picked like the prettier ones with the big blue eyes. And he was a little black and white cat. And we were like, he's the cutest. So we took him. But we go to take him to, and at first we thought our dog at the time, Turbo, would hurt him because he was so small, and they were about the same age, but he was real little.
Yeah.
Jason was like, nah, put the cat on the floor. And I was like, do not put that cat on the floor. He put the cat on the floor, and they started playing and rolling around, and they acted like the best of friends immediately. Turbo and Isis were the best of friends, but we're thinking Isis was a girl. So we're like, that's the toughest little girl cat ever. Long story short, girl, we dropped that cat off at the vet, went on a little vacation because they were going to hold the cat overnight for 3 days. You know, they do it and then they hold the cat and they let the cat recover from the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, we got to the place and picked him up. We walked in and the people looked at us. They said, is this Reed? And they started immediately laughing. And we're like, what's so funny? They said, you're here to pick up your boy cat. And we're like, what are you talking about? They said, what's the cat's name? We said, Isis. And they said, yeah, well, you may want to change that because your cat is a boy. We're like, no, a cat is not a boy. That cat is a girl. And literally the person at the front desk said, ma'am, we're veterinarians. I said, ma'am,
we kind of know.
We're veterinarians. And we were like,
wow,
wait a minute. And so like, so what do you want to do? They're like, we have to change this record. You got to tell us what you want the cat's name to be, because the cat is 100% a boy. And we have neutered him. We did not spay him because he is not a girl, he's a boy. We neutered him as directed, but he a boy. What you want us to call? We were like, Mr. Isis. So that's why his name was
The
Mr. Isis.
boy named Isis. Isis.
He was a
Isis.
boy named Mr. Isis. And so when he moved here, they were so tickle pink. His little veterinarian just loved the fact that his name was Mr. Isis. They just called him Mr. And at the daycare, he was the king of the cat tree. They called him Mr. Isis, the king of the cat tree. And he would be at daycare, lording over the cat tree, not letting no other cats get on it, looking around like, yeah, bitches, this is my cat tree. They loved him at daycare. He was their favorite cat, at least according to them.
If you didn't have Escobar in your house, I would be bringing you 2 cats.
No, I honestly, after the experience,
you wouldn't even know.
No, I will never get. I'm telling you honestly, the God's honest truth. I will never have another pet again, ever in my entire. I've had pets all my life. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I will never do this again. It is. I'll tell you in my wind down. You do your wind down first, and then I'll do mine. And I'll tell you my wind down. I will never do this again, ever.
Oh my God! Well,
no
count
cat,
your blessings.
No dog, no parakeet.
I felt that, and so I told Tiffany, even though we had a plan, because she lives near you, and so we were going to come. We were meeting up at your house anyway, but she was trying to convince me to bring 2 kittens with me. No, but I was like, I told her no, and my main reason was Escobar. But then I said, I hear her enough to know she does not want another pet in her life,
ever,
despite what others in your household, who shall remain nameless, feel.
Who is allergic to cats and dogs and all animal fur and wants to cuddle and hold them and like literally, it's insane.
I know, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. And that person is hard to say no to, but
very.
It is what it is. Okay. So my wind down is how I spent.
What you drinking?
Oh, let me tell you what I'm drinking. I made an interesting concoction.
Oh.
So I have palm juice, watermelon coconut water, sparkling Pellegrino, and fresh lime juice.
Oh.
It's very delicious. It's very refreshing and healthy.
Yeah. Sounds complicated.
It's 4 things.
Well, that's more than one thing.
Oh my God.
I have one thing. This stuff, I really like it. It's Hi-O. I'm into it. This is the organic peach mango. It's called Social Tonic. So it's a non-alcohol beverage, but it tastes like it has a cocktail vibe to it.
Ooh.
And it's actually, I love these. They're really, really good. They have filtered water. And I guess they have something in them that because it has lemon balm extract, which is really good for you. And there's something in it that makes it feel like you're kind of drinking an alcoholic beverage, but you're not.
Oh, I love that.
Some of them have CBD in them, but this one doesn't.
I love a non-alcoholic that has a little something, whether it's the flavor or a little CBD or a little THC or a little
experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get a little something, so you don't feel like you're just drinking juice. Is that a bug?
I'm not mad at that. Is that a what?
A spider on my wall. I think I should kill it.
Well, get a glass and a piece of like a postcard and you put the glass over it, slide the postcard between the wall and the spider, hold it, and then walk outside. Don't kill it. I'm going to send Peter to your house. Don't you kill that spider. Joyanne, get a glass. I know you have
I am not putting a spider in a glass.
You can wash it.
Red rum. Red rum.
Get a glass and a postcard. Come on, this will be your great experience. Come on.
It can climb too high. I see it right there. I'm going to kill that.
Get a stool.
No.
Don't you kill that spider, Joyanne.
Why not?
Because it'll be like killing a part of me.
What? I don't even know where to go with this. I have nothing. I got nothing.
I'm connected. I don't know how to tell you this. I'm connected to all living creatures.
What is happening?
This is the makings of our sci-fi novel that we're gonna write.
I cannot. I am just gonna sit
that
here.
That little spider has a soul. Somehow it just wandered into your house and it's a little lost. grab it and put it back outside. Do a good deed today. It's enough evil in the world. There's enough death in the world. Let that spider live, girl. It's so easy. Just get a glass, a little postcard, over the spider, slide in the paper, boop, lift it up, take it outside. I do it all the time. It's so easy.
As soon as the podcast is over, the spider dies.
There is
Soul
enough
or no
death
soul.
in the world. Enough death in the world.
Do
Let
your
that
wind
spider-
down, ma'am.
Let Charlotte's Web live. What the children gonna say? Didn't you see Charlotte's Web? You don't want Charlotte? Huh? You didn't cry when Charlotte died? You gonna kill Charlotte? Shame. Shame on you.
Charlotte lived a good life. Charlotte gonna die as soon as the podcast's over. You ain't watching me no more.
Oh my God. You better not kill that spider.
I probably can't find it now. It got away while you were talking all that trash. It got away. It's escaped. It's in my office somewhere.
You would have slept better tonight, more soundly tonight, knowing that that little spider was out having an adventure. Outside living.
Spiders don't have it.
That spider don't want to be in your house. That spider want to be outside.
I'm sure it doesn't, but it's in. It got in. I am not. No. Tell me your wind down. I need to hear your wind down.
Girl, listen, I'm sleep deprived. That's the makings of, that's the start of my wind down, because over this holiday weekend, I was supposed to travel to DC for the convention, but I had to change my plans because my mom became really ill on 4th of July. That Friday. Really bad abdominal pain, so much so. And my mom is one who's like, the last thing she wants to do is go see a doctor. So we had to go to the ER. We were in there. They said she had the stomach flu, right? So I said, well, let me put a mask on because that's very contagious. And they sent us home. You know what I mean? The main thing we went for was the pain. They were like, this is why this is happening. So they give her pain meds. We go home. Middle of the night, excruciating pain, right? So I'm calling, her doctor's office, which is closed, but they have an on-call physician's assistant. I'm talking to him. What can I give her? Extra strength Tylenol. So I'm giving her that, and we're trying to figure it out. We have to go back to the ER the next day. Totally different doctor. You know how ERs are. They have turnover. Totally different doctor. They diagnose her with something, diverticulosis, something totally different, right? Than the stomach flu from the first night. But they sent her home with pain meds this time. So she's starting to get better when it comes to the pain. But there's still a lot of other symptoms going on. She's not hungry, queasy. So she hasn't eaten really anything substantial in days. Like even today, she was just drinking broth. So once Saturday happened, we had to go back. And I was like, well, there's no way. I called you and my friends, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to make it to DC because I got to be here. Thank God. So Saturday, when we went to the ER on July the 5th, we were there. I didn't get home till almost 3 a.m. Because it was just one of those nights where there was just so much going on. But the thing that they did do was administer her pain medicine right away. So we still don't know what's going on. We went to see a GI doctor today. As of this recording, she has to have a procedure to more tests and procedures later this week. So it was a girl all week. We're dealing with this, trying to get to the bottom of it. But on top of that, my dog Bernie, girl. So we get home after being at the ER, and he is, Bernie has anxiety issues that I discovered a while ago, but we've been treating them with medicine for dog anxiety, which helps him to sleep. Otherwise, he is just all over the place, running, bumping into things, crawling under things, knocking things over, and just all night long, right? So he was doing that. I finally got some sleep last night because I went to a vet on Monday. I went to a new vet because I knew they had the medicine, and I missed the walk-in window. But I walked in, I went in and I said, listen, I know I missed the window, but if you all could just give me this medicine, please. Girl, I look like Shirley MacLaine in Terms of Endearment. You know, when she was like, give my daughter her medicine. I was like, y'all have got to give me these meds. I was like, I'll come back for an appointment, but I need the meds. So I've been giving him the meds and he's getting better. But that old medicine, whatever it was, is still in his system. So even now, oh, there he is. He's back there. He's just all like he's moving, trying to crawl into things. But my mom is feeling better. I got a good night's sleep. Bernie is still, but girl, hats off to the caretakers, because anybody who's in that whole sandwich situation where you've got kids and parents that you're caring for, girl, the dog being like the kids, and my mom just having to around the clock, cooking for her, what she could eat, making sure she's taking her medicine. When she was up, I was up, and all the things, girl. These past 4 days, girl, anybody who's dealing with this on a regular basis, like with a special needs child or parent, somebody with Alzheimer's or something like that, where you're around the clock having to deal with this and you got to work too.
Yeah.
Whoo, baby. Hats off.
I know two sisters who are doing that. Two Black women who are doing that. And one, one of them with her sister and another one with her mom. And it did it with her grandmother, returned home to take care of her grandmother. The grandmother passed, and now it's taking care of the mom, who has a long history of, addiction issues and all sorts of issues. And it literally drains your life. It can drain your whole life away, God.
Yeah.
If you're doing it full time.
I was exhausted. And because, for me, girl, sleep is everything.
Yeah.
If I'm not getting 8 hours, girl, what's the meaning of life for me? I'm like, why am I here? Why?
To save spiders, dear. To save spiders.
I'm not done with you.
From me.
Listen. Come on now. Let that spider live. Let
him live. Well, he'd escaped now, so he's gonna make it. But that's
Charlie the spider.
Well, I'm glad Mama Reed is feeling better, and that at least you're taking care of it. But you're right; it's a really great window into what so many women in our age group are dealing with, because you get to the age where your elders are in their 70s, 80s, 90s, and then it's a lot of hard choices and it's a lot of work. It is more work. It's like it reverses. They're not taking care of you, you're taking care of them. And then on top of it, a dog is a kid.
You're caring for a parent who is in their sound mind and still the parent, because I'm like kind of like, no, you're not eating this, you're not doing that, we're not drinking, because she was like, oh, I want a ginger ale. No, you're not getting a ginger ale. There's no ginger in that nothing but sugar. I was like, you're on a vegan diet right now, really a liquid diet. There's nothing, she couldn't do dairy, she couldn't do solids, she lost almost 10 pounds since the 4th of July, just because she couldn't, she wasn't hungry. And just eating, just very, very little. But yeah, we got through it, girl. But I'm glad that I was here. I mean, if we had gone to Essence or anything like that, I wouldn't have been here. You know what I mean? I would have had to leave. But yeah, I'm so glad that, things work out the way they're supposed to sometimes.
They do. And was she planning on coming to Essence? Because we know she is a Delta deer. She wasn't coming.
No, she couldn't come. She wasn't coming because she's going out of town this coming Sunday. And that was the other thing. I want to get her ready for this trip to Florida. I know, with a group of her friends. I know, girl. I know.
Black people just don't want to give up Florida.
Girl, listen, don't get my tried to go to the Dollar General today. I was like, oh no, ma'am.
Lord have mercy.
Get some green cards. I was like, we will go somewhere else.
Somewhere else to get them. Is other places to shop. Ooh, Lord.
Yes, girl. But it's a whole retraining of the brain. But she is better today, than she has been the past 2 days. It's tough, seeing someone that you love so much just kind of really she was in such pain. I mean, and I was bad cop at that hospital because I was like, why she got to sit here with all this pain? I don't understand. When the doctor coming, I was glad that I was there to advocate for her too. Yeah. So she's better. So what's your wind down, girl?
Well, interestingly enough, my wind down is somewhat connected to your wind down, because this was the So the daughter and I went for July 4th weekend to New York to try to get the co-op done. I love decorating. I enjoy it very much.
You do.
But relying on other people to get it done was just not working for me. So I was like, I'm just going to finish it myself. I'm going to go buy whatever last limited things we wanted to buy, do whatever we're going to do. So we had a great weekend because I'm not so much a July 4th person. I'm more of a Juneteenth person. So I don't really need to do anything on July 4th like that normal stuff. So we, went to the spa. We had a great weekend.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Come back home to a dog in the midst of a serious UTI infection. So
which one?
Nala. So when we were leaving, she was, like peeing a lot. Like every minute she'd go outside and pee. And what she'll do, she's not like when Turbo, our late dog Turbo, used to have to pee, he would bark at you, be like, hey, hey, hey. And he would let you know, I gotta pee. And so you had to let him out. When he started yapping, you let him out. She does not do that. Nala only barks when there's somebody at the door.
Right.
That is the only time she makes any sound. She doesn't really make a sound except for, even though she's a girl, she goes like a dinosaur from Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Whereas the other dog, my brother's dog, the big pit bull dog, he goes like a little girl. So they're opposite. Their voices are opposite. He's got the girly voice, and she got the boy voice. But so she doesn't really make sounds. When she has to pee, she just comes and stares at you in your face. And she just stares at you like she's trying to hypnotize you. Like she thinks if I just stare at you, you're going to understand what I'm saying. Right. And she just looks at you. And we tried to teach her the buttons, where you touch the button, but she's so skittish that she's scared of the buttons. So when she puts the button that says pee, she jumps and is scared and runs away. So she doesn't want to use the button. So every minute this dog's in my face staring before we left. In my face staring. And then my brother was like, I think she has a UTI because she's squatting all around outside to pee, but nothing's coming out. So I was going to cancel the whole trip to New York, but Jason was like, no, go ahead. I'll take her to her vet appointment. She had a vet appointment on Saturday. We come back. The vet appointment confirms a UTI. When I tell you, this will be my last dog. The amount of work it takes to literally clean up pee-pee spots all over the house. Thank God we don't have carpets everywhere. And luckily, in this instance, she's not peeing on the carpets we do have. She's peeing on the floor. So at least it's a mopping situation.
That's not so bad.
It's pour some Fabuloso and mop, but it's all over the stairs. You don't walk and slip and fall. It's on the stairs. It's on the floor. It's by the door. It's by the back door. I'm running behind her. And then we're trying to figure out, okay, how to make sure we confine her so she can't go anywhere and pee everywhere. Because the house cleaners came yesterday. And once the house is clean, you ain't peeing nowhere, ma'am. Like, no, I have a nice, freshly clean house. I am no. So we've been like trying to figure out, we tried putting a diaper on her. She takes the diaper off, somehow figures out how to MacGyver herself out of the damn diaper. She's like Houdini. She will not be, this is an unconfinable dog. Even when we first got her, we used to try to put her in a play. We got a big playpen, put it in the middle of my living room, ruin the look of the living room to have this giant playpen so she could have room to play. Girl, the dog would jump right over the side of the playpen. We tried putting her behind a doggy gate in the laundry room where Turbo used to be. We used his doggy gate. He used to be little dog who could jump 6 feet in the air, but somehow he didn't know how to do the angle. So he could never get out. He could jump straight up, but he never could do the so he never figured out how to get beyond that dog gate.
He couldn't do up and over.
He couldn't do up and over. He could just do straight up like a bouncing ball. So he never, but she figured out how to get out over that doggy gate in literally 20 minutes. Unconfinable dog. So putting her in a diaper, good luck with that. Houdini come out the diaper and then keep peeing everywhere. She is driving me absolutely up the wall. And then you have to try to give, when a dog has a UTI, you have to give them their medicine.
Right.
And the only way to get a dog to take a pill is you have to wrap it in peanut butter and put it into their mouth. And so the peanut butter around it will make them swallow it. Every other dog, not Nala. No, Nala Beyonce Reed defies the peanut butter. You put the peanut butter laden thing in her mouth. Somehow she manages to keep the peanut butter in.
And the pill comes out.
And I'm like, I've never seen a dog. We used to give Turbo his meds. He somehow managed to not be able to get me on the peanut butter in the pill. This dog, good luck getting her a pill down her mouth. getting a pill into her mouth means covering your entire hand and fist in peanut butter. You end up covered in peanut butter. Your clothes have peanut butter. The floor has peanut butter. So I have been waiting hand and foot on this dog since I got back home. I took over, Jason tapped out and I tapped in. And and of course, because I'm her favorite, so she follows me everywhere I go. And as she's following behind, there is a trail of urine all over the floor, and I can't take it. So I'm like, you know what? I am not a dog person. I'm realizing I'm not a pet person.
You're not a pet person.
I'm not a pet person.
I actually said that to Tiffany. I said when it comes down to it, she ended up with these pets because of other people. I said, but and there's nothing wrong with that. I love when people who are not pet people come to this realization and stop getting pets.
Right. And by the way, I grew up with dogs. I grew up with dogs and cats. I grew up as a pet person.
It doesn't make you a pet person. It just means you had pets in your life.
Right. But when I was a kid, I was like you. I was like Dr. Dolittle. I loved animals. I loved pets. I loved having a pet. I always, we had a dog, Brandy. We had a little dog, Peaches, and a big dog, Brandy, a giant, enormous German Shepherd that used to bite everyone in the house but me. And the pets always like me for some reason. I'm not a pet person, but pets like me. And so
what happened?
He nipped one of the siblings, and my mom would not let him in the house. We were not, she was Caribbean, so she didn't allow pets in the house. We used to sneak him in the house when she wasn't home. And Brandy nipped one of them, and so he was outside, and I literally was so mad that my mother yelled at Brandy that I went and slept outside and put my head on him and slept on him. I said I wasn't scared of him. I trained him to shake hands. I was a pet person.
So why are you not a pet person anymore?
I think I grew up out of it, and then I had the other kind of pet, which is called children. And I realized that children are, I love baby, I'm a baby person. I'm definitely a kid person. I love babies and kids. But the great thing about babies and kids is they grow up. And so there are different phases of them. They start out as a cute little infant. They smell good and they're cute and they poop a lot, but it doesn't stink. Then they get a little older and they're a toddler and they're naughty and bad, but they're going to get over it. Then they're like a little older. Then they're a preteen. They're a teen. Then they're an adult. They go through stages of life. Pets, they just a baby forever.
Yeah.
They're in that baby phase forever. They never grow up. And so therefore it is like having a baby for 15 years.
Having a toddler. I would say it's like having a toddler.
A toddler for 15 years. Yeah. Right. It's like a toddler for 15 years. Right. You don't have to carry them. But the reality is it's like you have to really be committed to the pet life to commit to this lifestyle, because it's also a lifestyle that is inevitably leading you to pain and sadness, because then after the 14, 15 years, the dog is going to pass away. Their lifespan is very short. So you're
and you think about that, but here's the other thing. Even though as much as it broke my heart to lose my dog Zoe and my dog Sugar Shane, it would be worse for me to leave this earth and for them to remaine without me, because no one will take care of my
like you do
the way I do.
I want to be a pet in your house, because when I tell you your pets live better than people, I'm like, when my daughter, by the way, friends and cousins out there, my daughter babysat she dog sat for Miss Jackie. And she came home being like, well, you don't even treat me as well as the dog is treated at Jackie's house.
It's like, here's the number for this. There's this. There's the dog walker who'll come so you don't have to walk them. There's this. There's that.
Spoiled. And so my thing
rotten. Treated well.
Rotten. Pushing them around in a baby pram. I'm like, no, I'm not doing all that. And so the reality is,
but the thing is, let me give you this advice on the pills quickly. I will tell you, because I'm a pill expert when it comes to giving animals pills. 2 things. Get yourself a pill crusher, because you can grind it up and crush it into powder, put it in the peanut butter, boom, you're done. And then you're done. Harder, but also an option. If you get a little syringe, crush it up, put it in put it in some liquid, fill up the syringe, open that mouth, squirt, you're done.
Yeah. It's gone.
The pill is in that. Those are 2 ways you can get it done. Easy peasy. What I do with Bernie, because Bernie has to take medication on the regular, and he lets me do this, I open up his mouth, I place it on the very back of his tongue, and then I close his mouth and I hold his neck up and he swallows.
So this is what Jason told me to do. So I did that, but somehow Me putting it on the back, I open her mouth, hold her mouth open with her big giant canine teeth, and lean her back and put it on the back of her tongue. I'm telling you, that Houdini dog figure out how to get the peanut butter goes down and the pill comes back out. And
But
she
don't
does
do it
it.
with the peanut butter. Just do the pill.
Oh,
I just do the pill with Bernie. I don't do any of that because he has to take so many pills.
yeah.
So I do, but I also supplement with like CBD drops, and he has like this melatonin chew that I put in his food. But with the pill that I give him, because I like to do as holistic as possible, so he doesn't have to take as many pills. I don't like the prescription medications.
Do you
But
hear how complex the lives of these dogs? Do you hear what she's saying? She's like, and then I have a melatonin pill for him, and then I have a body
no, it's
rub,
a
and he
melatonin
has a body scrub.
chew. So you just put it in the food, and then the CBD drops. It's just in a dropper. You just drop it in his mouth. It's not that hard. You didn't want to make a 4-ingredient drink. I don't even know. Everything for you is hard.
Yes. Yeah. Now you're getting it. Now you're getting it. Everything for me is hard.
You just don't want to do it. You just don't want to do it. It's not that hard. Because you leap tall buildings on a regular day when it comes to information in this crazy world of politics.
But see, I don't find that hard.
Down guests and all that stuff. So don't say, because you do hard things. You do things that you want to do. You could do it. You just don't want to do it because you're not a pet person.
And that is what it is that late at post 50-year-old realization that the kid me that was a pet person was a different person, and that as an adult, and so Nala will be the last read. I don't think I get any grandkids, so basically my line dies with Nala. So I think she is it. I do not think I will do another pet. We told you the story of the fish, Sushi, Banana, and Pinky Pearl.
I don't want to relive the fish. That was heartbreaking to me.
And so that was so heartbreaking. And so my thing is, as much as I'm not an animal person, when they die, I'm heartbroken. Like, I still miss Turbo and Mr. Isis. Mr. Isis died like in the freaking family room, while we were waiting to take him to the ER. And the reality is we spend, and as much as I'm not a pet person, the amount of money we spend on doggy and kitty daycare, like they're a child. On Nala gets a week, every other week, she goes to get a spa bath and haircut like a human person. Yeah. She has her own dog walker friend that comes twice a week.
Let's see what that is. That's the nice person in you, because every once in a while, even though you're not a dog person, you're hit with a little tinge of, I should be doing something. That's that A personality, that A type in you. You're like, this dog is, let me go take it to us, but let me get a dog walker. Let me do these things.
Yeah.
You just should not have pets.
I should not have pets. And this has been that slow realization. And as you said, most of the pets that I've had have been at the behest of someone else. Turbo was because our little friend Evan, who was basically the little, Hispanic boy who loved pets and loved animals, wanted to give the dog to us because he would come over our house every day and he could see the dog every day. And he talked me into it. Mr. Spooky was, felt bad for she was a, stray, and we took her in. Like, it's always like someone in the house. It's usually the kids who get us to get these pets. And, that's what I did to my mom. That's how my mom ended up with pets. And she was definitely not a pet person.
You don't need any more pets, but
you have
to give that memo to the other people in the house, because you end up being the one that takes care of all the pets.
They bond with me. As much as Nala is technically Jason's dog, I bought the dog for him, which is a terrible present. Don't buy a living thing as a present for someone. Very bad idea. Mistakes were made. So I bought the dog.
Why is he taking care of the UTI?
Because the dog, no, he did. When we were in New York, he was tapped in and he had to do it. He took her to the vet. He got the medicine. He was giving her the medicine. But when I came home, when I tell you this dog is obsessed with me, I am her favorite person in the house, even though I'm not a pet person. So she will literally ignore the existence of Jason Reed. She does not, when I'm home, she does not acknowledge his existence. She just follows me everywhere I go. If I go into the bathroom, she's right there like, you need anything? You need me? I'm here for you if you need me. If I go take a shower, she's like, just in case if you need, I'm like, I'm taking a shower. How am I going to need you? I don't know. I'm here.
You play hard to get. When I take a shower, girl, I have blankets, and I bring blankets in the shower so that Bernie, who is so attached to me, can curl up in the shower. I close the door, and girl, we are in there together because he's the happiest. When I take a shower, he wants to be in there, and it really is like him. You know, it's good for his lungs and everything to have that hot water. You know, to breathe it.
You're an insane person.
It's like a steam room for him.
You
It's
are
good.
an insane person. You're an insane person. And I know
It does nothing. It does, like my other dog, Oscar, he is not that clingy. Bernie is a clingster. So I'm just like, let's make it easy. Let's just, when I go in the shower, it's one extra thing. Put it down on the floor. I should keep a bed in there. And you just, lay down while I'm taking the shower. That's it. That's how it goes.
Again, that we are the opposites. We both are reads. That is the thing that's true. We are both Black women in media and the news business. That we have in common. So we're both, thankfully, members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Love that. But we have nothing in common when it comes to animals and food. Nothing. We are the opposite.
That is
Oscar
true.
Felix.
Yes, it's true. It is so true. But the thing about you is, I wonder how long, if we lived together, it would take for you, because I'm pushy, right? You'll get there, right? I wonder how long it'll be, like, until you revolt and you're like, and you turn into Anne. Not Anne, but Anne, because I like her.
I love it. It would be a great sitcom. The Reed, right? The Reed cousins try to live together. It literally. Okay, we want you all to vote in the comments, because I want to do. I think we should do a show together, called The Reluctant Vegan. This is my show idea. I'm just putting it out there in the universe. I think we should do a thing where you try to convince me to become a vegan.
I can do it. I think I can do it. I do. I think I could do it. I think I could do it. I think I could do it in 30 days.
Guess who's outside the door? To my point.
Who?
Nala.
Nala. Come on, Nala.
You cannot stand if
let
I
her
go
in.
Into a room and
here.
close the
let
door.
her in. Why can't you let her in? Let her in. It's just pee. You can clean it up.
Come on. I can't go behind a closed door. If I go in a room and shut the door, it's like an outrage to her. She can't take it.
Just let her in. What's she gonna do? You can clean up the pee. I'll send you some things to clean up urine that gets rid of the stain and the odor.
Yeah.
I got that. I'll send you something that's also clean. Okay. It's more natural. You don't have to make it. Don't worry. You can buy it.
Is it going to be a 4-step process that I won't do?
Oh my God. You are a mess. A mess. All right. Let's get to our shit you need to know topics.
Please. Other than Fabuloso being bad.
Yeah, you do need to know about that. I'm very curious. Yeah. I'll see if I can find a video to post within this thing, but it is very dangerous. You don't want to use it. Okay, so shit you need to know. Let's talk about Texas and the horrific flooding there. At the time that we're recording this, I want to say 108 people have been determined dead. I don't know. I'm not clear on how many are missing. I had our intern, India, pull some research together, but I couldn't tell by everything I was reading just how many are missing. Yeah. But it was in a place called Kerr County. Kerrville is one of the areas that had the worst. The rain started on Thursday night. And they're saying that this is the deadliest flood of the century. Wow. So it started Thursday afternoon. The National Weather Service put out an alert, right? But they were saying it was only going to be 5 to 7 inches. It was more than double that. Yeah. In the end. So then on Friday, early in the morning, that's when they were like, this is going to be a flash flood. By 4 a.m., they were like, this is a flood emergency. And by 5 a.m. Central Time, 5:30 a.m. Central Time on Friday, it was too late. for people to get this information. And of course, and you can talk more about this, there's a lot of criticism about Doge cuts to the National Weather Service, 10% of cuts to that agency. And there were 2 vacancies from those cuts in that area where there was flooding.
Yeah.
And, they're talking about getting rid of FEMA or doing away with FEMA. FEMA maintains the databases of these flood zones throughout the country. It maps the regulatory floodways, the places where the floods will hit first, and the places that will be most devastated by floodwaters. And then they couldn't do those weather balloons that help them predict where the floods are going to fall. That wasn't able to be carried out by the National Weather Service. It's a lot. To me, there's a lot of blame to go around. The biggest story that a lot of people are talking about are this camp where all these Christian girls camp, where all these girls, what is it? The Mystic Camp, I think it's called.
Camp Mystic. Mm-hmm.
A lot of deaths there. A lot of girls still missing there. It was a Christian camp. Really upsetting situation there. But I mean, wow. My heart was breaking. But what really bothered me with all of this was how many people were saying, Texas voted for this. So, and I'm paraphrasing, Texas voted for this, so that's what they get. Like, no compassion for these victims. And I think that's wrong. I don't think that you can pinpoint, okay, this person who drowned, we don't know those statistics, voted for Trump, and so they deserved this. Or this person, the whole state didn't, everybody in the state didn't vote for him. And even if they did, they don't deserve this. I don't think. It's just horrific the way that people are responding to this. And there was one woman, have you heard of this, Sharday Perkins? This Black woman who she had this position by the last mayor, I want to say in Houston. She was a mayoral appointee in Houston, a former one. She tweeted out some really horrific, to me, insensitive things about these campers. She was saying, I know I'm going to get canceled for this, but Camp Mystic is a white-only girls Christian camp. They don't even have a token Asian. They don't even have a token Black person. It's an all-white, white-only conservative Christian camp. She said, if you ain't white, you ain't right. You ain't getting in. You ain't going, period. But then, to me, she went a little bit too far. Wait, do I have this? Where she called these girls, I can't say it without reading. Have you heard about this girl?
No.
Well, her partner is the pastor of a church. I want to pull up what she said, because I don't want to, and we can pause for a minute because I don't want to misquote her. But to me, what she said is it just went too far. So somebody said to her, girl, you brought this upon yourself. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from the consequences. She said, this is what she said, consequences for what? Laugh emoji, laugh emoji, laugh emoji. Maybe it was God's will to wash them little away. But I was like, damn. And this is a Black woman who's partnered up with a white man who's a reverend at a church, who had to put out a statement saying that the comments that she made, he said he wanted to disavow himself from those comments. Girl, I know that people are frustrated about what's going on in this country, but damn, that's too far.
I think she went too far.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this. Texas did vote for this.
Texas is not a person.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You're right.
If you look at the map of the 2024 election, and really every election going all the way back to when Ann Richards was the last Democratic governor of Texas. Texas, despite being at this point a majority Hispanic state where Hispanics barely vote, they vote in very, very low numbers. And it's an apartheid state. It's very hard to vote. If you're in Harrison County, which is Houston, they put up every barrier possible for you to vote. So they keep their non-white voters very suppressed, and then the ones who do vote tend to vote almost solely on guns and abortion.
Mhm.
Texas is a state that repeatedly votes for someone that the polls show they despise, Ted Cruz, who, by the way, was in Europe when this crisis took place.
Yeah.
Just like he was in Cancun the last time they had that heat wave that dropped that messed up their electricity, and people were without electricity. Oh no, I'm sorry, it was a cold snap, I think, and they were without electricity. And this time he was in Europe, so he's never there when they need him. But they keep voting to reelect him, even though they know he doesn't care about them. They keep voting to reelect Greg Abbott, who said publicly that California should not get any FEMA help. They should get zero FEMA help after the deadly wildfires in Altadena,
Right.
Pasadena, etc. He said they should get no help. He promptly wrote to Trump asking for FEMA help for Texas.
Okay.
Hypocrisy. Their attorney general weighed in on the 2024 election, attempting to file a lawsuit to get Trump to stay in office, and none of his business. Texas is one of the worst states in the country when it comes to denying books, in changing history, not allowing any school books to even tell the real history of the Alamo. It is a toxic state. And Kerr County, just to be fact-based, voted overwhelmingly for Trump. 74%, I believe. It was either 72 or 74% of Kerr County voted for Trump. And I'm not saying that this means that they should get flooded, but here's the problem. When Donald Trump ran for office, he said we should get rid of FEMA. He
Right.
said we were going to cut the government. It was very clear that his agenda was about cruelty to immigrants. We knew what it was about. These folks did vote for him. And what they voted for, whether they meant to or not, was to cut FEMA, was to cut the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, which is what predicts storms. There was a meteorologist at my old station, WTVJ in Florida, who did this epic in January takedown of the cuts to NOAA and the National Weather Service. And he said, people are going to die. I won't be able, he didn't say people are going to die. He said, I won't be able to accurately predict storms anymore when they do these cuts. These are going to destroy lives in the state of Florida, and nationwide. And walking away from science is just a deadly game. So there was so much warning, and it's tragic to me. What Texas shows me is the extent to which a majority of white Americans repeatedly vote to allow their own children to die, because they are more prepared for their children to die than they are to vote for a Democrat. They would rather vote for somebody who they know is going to cut Medicaid, even though they're on Medicaid, who they know is going to go after Social Security, even though they're on Social Security, who they know is going to go after Obamacare, even though they use Obamacare, which is also Medicaid, who they know is going to cut FEMA, who they cheered when he said California shouldn't get any help. The hypocrisy of this white Christian demographic in our country is so openly tragic, because in the end, the people who tend to get hurt are their children, and they're voting away the health and welfare of their own kids because they just hate diversity so much. They hate hearing Spanish speaking at the store so much. They hate knowing that there are immigrants somewhere out there coming in the country without getting all the dots and I's crossed and T's crossed. They literally hate the fact that the gardener is Hispanic, even though they use the gardener. And I'm not saying they deserve it. I would never say they deserve it, but I can understand why people in blue states who pay taxes, who vote to increase our taxes every single time, and who are donor states. Texas is also a donor state. It's one of the few red donor states because they have oil. But it's frustrating to watch these people. And even when they get hurt, when their own officials are slamming the federal government for failing them, they turn around and all they offer each other are thoughts and prayers. When there's a school massacre, when there's a deadly fire, when there's a deadly flood, their own children are drowning, and nothing will change their behavior. They will turn right around and vote for Greg Abbott. They will turn right around and vote for that attorney general, that criminal attorney general. They will turn right around and vote for Trump again and again and again. They will keep voting for these policies because they don't care what it does. That's a tragedy to me. These are supposed Christians, and they vote antichrist wise. And they're going to keep doing it because race, They talk about black people play the race card. White voters in America vote almost solely on race. They vote almost strictly on race.
Yeah.
And they will not stop doing it even when it kills their own kids. That's what's a tragedy to me.
Yeah.
Those
I
kids
just
should be
don't
alive.
think, I don't
Not
think
the kids'
that,
fault.
but I think that we should not let those things erode the compassion that's in our hearts,
I
right?
agree with that. I have absolute compassion. I have absolute.
all of the late great Sheila Jackson Lee was from the state of Texas, and she did great work, right, to fight for those who didn't vote that way.
And by the way, she was fighting not just for black people, but for white people. And see, this is the difference between people. Right. And people claim that black people vote based on race. No, we don't. We vote for we vote, except for one time we vote for a black president. We vote for every white president put in front of us. We vote for white people to get health care. We vote for white people to get their immigration status cleared up. We voted to get Latinos, opening immigration to get Latinos to come in. We do all of that. And the thing that's so tragic, we vote that way almost by ourselves. Because white America refuses to vote for their own good. And because they don't see their good as their children not dying in a flood because they slashed Noah. They see their good as remaining on top in the racial game. And that supersedes, and that is what they call Christianity. You know, I mean, this is the same group of people who are screaming about Superman being too woke because he's an alien who's like, people should be nice to immigrants. He's an alien. Of course he thinks people should be nice to immigrants. So it's like, it's very hard for me to look at MAGA and not say, I told you so. We could have told you were making your lives unsafe by voting for this man and by voting for these Republicans, but y'all gonna keep doing it. Y'all gonna feel it before you learn it.
We have to remember our humanity. And I don't think that we should gloat.
Oh, I'm not gonna gloat.
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying people out there on social media and saying that these people they got what they, I think that that's unbelievably cruel and unnecessary. And I think we don't have to be like them. We can hold on to our compassion. We don't have to publicly or even privately celebrate this tragedy. And it is a tragedy.
But you and I both know that if that tragedy had happened in New York, they would celebrate it. If that tragedy had happened,
we are not them.
California, but I'm just saying.
We don't have to stoop to that. We don't have to celebrate the death of people.
And this is why we can't defeat them. And the reason we can't defeat them.
That's not true. The reason why we can't defeat them is because our leaders are taking money from, Israel and they're just and all that kind of stuff. That's why we can't defeat them.
Well, no, we can't.
Because our leaders are playing respectability politics.
I don't think it's just that.
Be compassion.
I don't think it's just
compassionate.
That. I don't think it's just that. The reason we can't defeat them, and I'll give you an example of why our compassion, in a sense, cripples us, right? Because after the Civil War, the compassion of the Republicans at the time, who were the liberals at the time, in which they did not want to crush the South for having rebelled and having killed Union soldiers, they let them off the hook. Mm-hmm. And where did that get us? Where we are now. You think about the fact that after January 6th insurrection, when Democrats now had a Democratic president, rather than swiftly lock up Trump and everyone involved, they meandered around and took 3 years.
No, but I agree with you on those things. That's different from no. That's both of those things you're talking about after a war. I agree with you on those 2 points. We should not, those politicians, those leaders should not have had compassion. But I'm talking about as people, as just fellow humans.
Gerrymandering, gerrymandering. We go, let's make it fair.
No, I don't agree when it comes to that. But when it comes to this, I don't think that there's anything wrong with looking at what happened to these people and having compassion to celebrate that. No, I have a problem with that.
I would never.
I don't think you celebrate that.
I would never celebrate people being.
And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, I get the way that the voting went, but what I'm saying, not everybody in Texas voted that way.
Well, most of them did.
Most of them did, but not all of them did. Like I said, Sheila Jackson Lee represented a lot of people, and there are other leaders across Texas who are
not in Kirk County,
the Democratic Party.
Not in Kirk County,
but still, those people
that county voted for this. But I'm just saying, and I'm not
That
saying that I'm
county did not
celebrating.
vote. The majority of
They
that
did.
county, but not the entire county. You can't listen. Georgia voted for Trump. I'm in
They did.
Georgia. I
They
don't,
did.
if there's a flood or disaster that comes this way, I don't deserve that.
No, I
Right?
agree.
I
And I
don't
don't even,
deserve to suffer
by the
because,
way,
but
I
my
don't
state
think,
went towards to
right.
Trump.
I don't think the people who voted for him deserve it. I don't think anyone deserves it because
Don't
I'm an
either.
actual Christian as opposed to these fake ones
That's
on the
what
other
I'm
side.
saying. That's
But the
all I'm saying.
reality, but all I'm saying is I understand though where the impulse comes from, not to mock children who are dead. That's just stupid. That's
No,
horrible.
I don't
But
understand that.
I do understand where when people say at a certain point, I think people's, not politicians, but regular people's compassion begins to wear thin when states like Texas abuse us, abuse the country, abuse everything about this country, and then want compassion and demand compassion for themselves. They only want compassion for themselves. They have no compassion for you, Jackie. If there was a flood in Georgia right now and it swept you away, Greg Abbott, Ted Cruz, MAGA, these people would not care. Look what they did. The guy who was from Wisconsin is a Republican from Wisconsin. Somebody posted 12 million people are going to lose their Obamacare. X million people are going to lose food stamps. X million people are going to lose this and that. He tweeted, good. Yay.
Yeah.
They literally celebrate the pain, suffering, and death of liberals, Democrats, Black people, brown. They love it. They celebrate it. This is a religion that is all about cruelty. They cannot stand to even hear the words of Jesus at this point. MAGA is so mentally toxic that they cannot even stand to hear the words of Jesus. The words of Jesus, they react to it like a vampire to a crucifix.
I get it. I get what you're saying. But what I'm saying is, I don't think that we should lose our humanity in the midst of it all. I don't think that we have to come to their rescue. And I'm not talking about Texas specifically. I don't think that we have to, if there's a Klan rally and they're, and some things happen, that we should cook food for them or take them cookies. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying turn the other cheek when there's like blatant hatred in your face. But what I'm saying is that we should not lose our humanity and our compassion. I mean, what happened in Texas, that flooding is horrific, the loss of life. And yes, people voted a certain way, but it wasn't the entire state. Those girls that lost their lives, they didn't vote.
I agree with that. They sure
girls
did.
at the camp, they didn't vote. And so to feel something, to say that those girls deserve that, or they deserved it because of how their parents voted, I think that's cruel. And I don't think that we have to stoop that low. I don't think we have to.
I agree with that part. I agree with that part, but I do think there's a legit. I think with that Sade, what's her name? Poisoning the name of Sade, one of the great performers of all time. I think what she did is dumb. I don't think we just you don't luxuriate in cruelty, especially about kids. They didn't, like you said.
I bet that there were a lot of people that heard that and were like, "That's right. I understand why she feels."
I bet there, and that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is not that I condone it, but I understand where that impulse comes from. I 100% know where that impulse is coming from. It is the frustration of people who have watched people on the right abuse us and then demand our compassion. And they watch their own kids get shot dead in schools and continue to vote for them to get shot dead again. And then say there's nothing we can do but thoughts and prayers. I think the right wing has no moral authority. It has none, no Christian authority, none. And so all that's left is the moral authority and true Christianity of the left. And that is the only thing holding this country from civil war, because we're not like them. If we were like them, we would literally we would be in a civil war.
And we have to hold on to that.
They have no, and the sad thing about it is, if we ever ended up in a civil war, the left would let them off the hook again, and they would come right back and do the same thing again. The left would let them off the hook yet again. We will never have a president do to the right what Trump is doing to the left. It will never happen. And they know that, and they know that compassion is a weakness on our side, and they abuse it. And that's why they will never, ever, ever stop getting more and more egregious, because they know that on the other side is compassion and gentleness. And they know That
But
won't
I think you have
change.
to I think you have to like, to me, January 6 people should have stayed behind bars,
Of
right?
course.
To me, I'm not to the point where I'm like, "Oh, no, let them out. Give them another chance." But in a situation where there's a natural disaster and people are dying in this situation, like
Yeah.
I don't know where that comes from. Like I don't understand to say that the people who died deserve that.
Yeah.
Like
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say
I
it either. I'm just saying I get why people doing it, but
understand where that
I
comes
don't
from.
condone it, but I get where it's coming from. I get it.
I
But
don't get
what she did, I don't get at all. Saying, and first of all, never call a kid a name. Like, first of all, it's a child. So
yeah.
now you just look stupid.
Yeah. But to me, when you open a window for a little bit of that, right? Then the door, the window widens, and then somebody opens the door and more can come in. So to me, you have to be careful with that.
I agree.
All right, moving on to Sean Diddy Combs, who we did not get to talk about on our last show, but the jury came back and he was not charged or found guilty on racketeering or sex trafficking, which shocked a lot of people. But he was found guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Each of those counts carries a maximum of 10 years to prison, so he could get up to 20 years. But we are hearing, this is according to BBC, we're hearing that the prosecutors are recommending about 5 years that he serve, and his lawyers are going for about a year and a half.
Or time served. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So that's where we are. They're supposed to meet up on October 3rd. He was denied bail. So everybody thought he was going to get out. They said his private jet was gassed up and ready, fueled up and ready to go. Not gassed up. But he'll stay behind bars until October 3rd. And that's when he will get sentencing. So we'll see what happens.
I
Yeah.
First of all, so our friend Sunny Holston,
Yeah.
I was like, make, and also Katie Fang, who I had on the Joy Reid show. We all
I
tried
love
to sort of
Katie.
make sense of it. We tried to
Keep
make sense
talking.
of
I'm
it.
going to get my charger, but keep talking. Go ahead.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, absolutely. I think the way that we kind of made sense of it, and the way Sunny made sense of it for me, because she's a former prosecutor, she's
Right.
prosecuted sex crimes charges, and so I think a lot of lawyers believe the case was overcharged, that they went too far trying to charge him with racketeering, and
Right.
that the problem was that we had a main witness, Cassie, who they had text messages of her saying she wanted to do the freak offs. So it
Right.
was difficult to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she was coerced, even though people could see that she was abused and had a terrible relationship. And here's the other thing that I think we've got to take into account and be realistic about. This was a jury of 8 men and 4 women.
Mm.
And the chances of convicting him of all those charges with 8 men on there, when you've got someone testifying that and showing their text messages saying they want to come and be with him and do all these crazy things and freak outs with him, it was going to be a high hill to climb for the prosecution. And then the last piece that Katie made a really good point is that the Southern District of New York, which is who prosecuted this case, is a diminished Southern District. It's not the A-team lawyers that we are used to at Southern District. A lot of them have been driven out of their jobs by Trump and Bondi and that whole crew. They've gotten rid of them and fired them because they were involved in prosecuting Trump for January 6th and prosecuting him for, the crimes he committed while he was president. So, or at least investigating those crimes. So it's not the same SDNY. They're operating at diminished capacity with fewer lawyers. So it may not have been the A team prosecuting him. And we are
Right.
past the Me Too era. Women are not, that Me Too backlash is real, y'all. And women like Cassie and this Jane Doe, Jane, the second lady, they're not going to be believed like they were before. E. Jean Carroll was like the peak of Me Too, and we are on the other side of that hill.
And a lot of folks are saying that it's not just that they're not believing the women, but there's this energy of they deserved it, right?
Yeah.
There was all this negativity towards Cassie that
Yes.
because okay, you're being abused, by this man, but look at the lifestyle you're living.
Right.
Look at what you're enjoying, right?
Yeah.
That's a big complaint by women in the Me Too movement, that there's this whole, these women deserved this
Yeah. Yeah.
treatment. You know, it's unfortunate that it went the way that it did, but I think the most despicable part of it all, and we talked about this, was the celebration
Oh my
of
God.
this verdict, and the people outside with the baby oil and all
Spraying
that
baby
kind of
oil,
stuff.
humiliating. I had race shame. I had race shame. I was like, you are an embarrassment to Black people. Y'all are dancing around, throwing baby oil, squeezing baby oil on you. Have some damn dignity. What are you doing?
I blame mental illness. I blame mental illness for there is nothing but mental illness that had these women and men out there behaving that way.
Horrible.
It was absolutely embarrassing and horrible.
Well,
I
let me ask
mean,
you this question,
hmm,
cousin or sister friend. You've been in the media a long time. We both been in the media a long time, but you've been more on the entertainment and news side.
uh,
Does Puffy have a career when this is over?
let me tell you, before I answer that, let me tell you what his daughters just announced: a clothing line
Oh
called
God.
1221. The two twins put out a video. They have launched a little clothing line that's coming out,
Oh no.
and they have a lot of celebrity support. They did it on social media and in the comments. Go girls! You know, to me, they are blameless in all of this. So I'm happy for them. I wish them well. They are young ladies, so you know, let it be. But they are launching a clothing line, which I thought the timing was really interesting. I
Hmm.
mean, your face. I
I
don't think he has a career, but I think he can still work in the. I don't think he has a career as a performer, but I
right.
do think that he has a career where he can make money. I do think that he can still have businesses. I think that he can still put artists. I guarantee you there's somebody out there who wants a music career. And if Diddy's like, I can get you a contract, I can get you some, because men look after men. Who runs the music industry? Men. He'll be looked out after. I
And
guarantee
I
it.
hope whoever those artists are, prepare for the baby oil, buddy, because there's a price for that deal, apparently.
I can't imagine he would behave the same way he did
Why? He
before.
got away with it. Remember
I
this? We said this about Trump.
I
People like, I can't imagine after his first term when he was impeached twice. He's not. He's worse.
yeah,
My guess is he's worse when he comes out because he now
yeah.
feels untouchable. He'll probably get pardoned by Trump or no, he can't be pardoned now. He didn't get well, yeah, the two things he was
He
convicted of.
could get pardoned.
He'll get pardoned by Trump probably.
And
He'll
that
probably
could
write Trump.
happen. That
Yes, of course.
still could happen.
I'm sure he will. And he'll
And if
get
that
pardoned by
happens,
Trump.
then his career, because Trump will back him and get, you know, he'll probably have a MAGA music company
Of
or
course.
something like that.
And he could sign Kanye West and the two of them can go on tour. Like at this
Kid
point, I
Rock.
feel like yes, I feel like for men, I mean, they can take
Yep.
Nelly and all of them can go. Rick Ross, they can all run out, take Ice Cube and all of the little MAGAs and run around. I mean, the reality is there is no bottom for in the MAGA world. Being a lecherous man is actually a benefit to you. It doesn't hurt you at all. And there's a certain group of fans who genuinely don't care what you've done, particularly what you've done to women, and they
No.
will still back him. R. Kelly still has super fans, some of them women. So I hate the fact that he could come back out and have a career, but it would not surprise me at all if he came right back out and we were forced to still deal with the diddler in a public way. And that is horrifying to me. But I feel like Me Too is so over and people are so backlashing against it that they would embrace him. And I hate that.
And with the media, with mainstream media going in the direction that it's going in, I
Yes.
guarantee you he lands an interview on
Yes.
CBS Morning Show, Good Morning
Gail,
America,
Good
the
Morning
Today
Yes.
Show.
And guess who won't? Guess who won't? Cassie. They
Yeah,
will she will be of no interest to
yeah,
anyone after this. And whoever Jane is, she's lucky she's anonymous. But Cassie, I think her career is over. Like that's the sad thing about this situation is
yeah.
I think she has no future, and he has a potential future, and that's really crazy.
Yeah, I worry about her kids. I worry about her children, even though
Same.
they're too young to really have any idea what's happening. And we know she was pregnant when she testified in this trial with, I think, her third child. Um, I'm glad that she won the money that she did. So she could really disappear if she wanted
Yeah.
to. But it's unfortunate because, to your point, she's a talented, young woman and could have had this whole music career. And
Yeah.
it's not too late for her to do such.
No.
But it would be hard for her. But I hope she tries like to be an independent artist. I hope she just puts music out, on the internet, just does something
Yeah.
with her talent. I hope she doesn't disappear.
I hope not.
Because then he completely wins. She
Then he
doesn't have to. She
wins.
might not have, the Beyonce career.
Right.
She may not be able to do big concerts, but she could have something.
Yeah.
And I hope she does that. But I hope if that's not what she wants, if she wants to just disappear from it all, I'm glad that she has the money to do that too.
Yeah. It's a sad situation. And one thing we do now know though is he cannot get away from the facts in the case. And really they didn't dispute the facts in the case. So we now know a lot more about Puffy. And the question then is that does the consumer marketplace, will they look away? Will they look the other way? I mean, to be honest, they kind of looked the other way after Kanye revealed himself to be a Nazi. He says all sorts of pro-Nazi stuff, and people were like, "I'm still gonna buy the records." So there's
And
a
the and
weird.
and the and the and the clothing brands were like, I'm still gonna do deals with them,
They still do
right?
deal with them.
Adidas hung in there.
They hung in there, and it's like it's not I mean, Trump. All the things he's done wrong. So it's like I think that we're in this era where men are feeling invincible
Yeah.
because Me Too has been so, it's been trashed so much that I think women, and I do think one of the consequences of this is that fewer women will come forward with stories like this. When E. Jean won, people felt really on a high. They're like, oh my gosh, we can get justice. When Bill Cosby got convicted, women were on a high. And then even that's been reversed. The Weinstein verdict, people were like, yes, we're finally getting justice. That's been reversed. So it's like you think about all the high profile cases.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for, what's his name? Bill O'Reilly is back with a popular podcast. And people are listening to Bill, despite everything we knew about what he was up to at Fox. People don't care. They've moved right on and are listening to his podcast. I'm waiting for Matt Lauer to come back, at this point. Why not? But Mark Halperin regularly appearing on podcasts like it's
Charlie
totally
Rose.
normal. Charlie Rose. I mean, at a certain point, I think men, the era we're living in is an era where they're trying to push us back to the pre-1960s era where women simply had no voice and had no real rights that men needed to respect. And we are getting back there fast.
And I should say Tavis Smiley is back on the air.
On the air.
On the
I think
air.
he owns radio stations.
He has I don't know. He's on the air, covering the elections and doing things.
Like nothing happened.
Like nothing ever happened.
And name a woman in a similar situation who's been able to come back like that. You can't.
You can't.
You can't.
Because men look out for men. Men look out for men. They really look out for each other when it comes to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at all the artists who will collab with him. There's no real, I mean, people, been raining down hell on Snoop on his Instagram, but he's still going to get all the deals and people will collab with him. Nothing is going to change for these people.
Yeah, because what he did was supporting Trump. Yeah. And look at all the businesses that support him and stand with him.
Yeah.
Who's not going to do a Home Depot? The Home Depot will do a deal with Trump. Target will do a deal with Trump.
Why not?
Why not?
White is right, and male is white and male is the way it is in America today. Yeah, what a world!
What a world! Oh my God! Okay, let's talk about Essence Fest. We were supposed to go, but at the last minute we didn't go. But boy, wow, a lot of negativity coming out of there. We're just talking about what we weren't there, so we don't know. But y'all tell us if you went in the comments. What was it like? Stephanie Mills, the great Stephanie Mills, wrote a letter, a public letter to Essence. Really detailing the experience that she had, the lack of professionalism when it came to sound and other things behind the scenes on stage, and basically said Essence needed to do better based on the longevity of not only this festival, but the brand. And she said no one should have to deal with what she had to deal with and what she witnessed, not just for herself, but for other artists. And she put that letter out publicly. But then there were people who were complaining about I used to go to Essence, oh girl, so many year after year after year after year, years ago. And they used to have these super lounges. Like there was the main stage, and there were all these super lounges up in the corner of the dome. And where there were just great SOS band over here, this band over there, was like great music. And they kind of, I don't know the detail, but Essence of what went wrong with the super lounges, but Essence issued an apology acknowledging that they mishandled the situation with the super lounges. There were some local vendors in New Orleans who felt that they were pushed out and slighted, said that they had been a part of this festival for years. And this year, for no reason, they felt like they didn't feel like, they said they were just uninvited. And so there were complaints that this connection, because Essence has always been in New Orleans, and it seemed to, there's something, it's one of your favorite cities. There's something so special about New Orleans. So to have it there and to have this relationships, New Orleans was always a part of, to me, what made the Essence Festival so special. But people feel like that the Essence Festival of today is basically divorced from the city of New Orleans and that specialness. And then there are people who are complaining that because the I don't know if she's the CEO or not editor in chief, but I guess CEO of Essence. I don't know her exact title. An African woman. And Richelieu, who is the owner, I don't know their actual titles, but he of Essence, that he is of Caribbean descent, that there is a Black American element that they feel that culture is being erased or pushed to the side of what the Essence Festival is all about, whereas that used to be the center of it. So there are a lot of complaints online, a lot of conversations about this. And I'm curious to see how Essence is going to respond to all of this. There's also the whole Target of it all, right? And they're saying that they have a multi-year deal contract with Target, so they have to continue to have this relationship. Target had a big shop, at the convention center.
They made it pink.
Changed the color, so it wasn't that Target red. They didn't have the usual branding. They changed it up a little bit so that people were in there shopping. Shame on you all for doing that, because we are boycotting. But yeah, it's a bit of a mess, I have to say, of what's going on with Target.
Yes, and the woman's name is Caroline Wanga. You will know her for her wild hairdos and eccentric hats. She was on with Angela Lee, and her sort of wacky glasses. She sort of makes herself a spectacle. If you remember her interviewing Kamala Harris in a very strange getup, and she's the CEO. But my understanding is she recently resigned, but she is not. This is my understanding, and we need to, because it's back and forth whether or not she's still with Essence. That apparently she's not. But here's the thing that people are upset about is that Ms. Wanga, before she was the CEO of Essence, before she took over that job, she used to be one of the leaders of DEI at Target. And she was in that position at the time, apparently. I believe that they signed that 5-year deal with Essence Fest. So she has a history of working for Target. She's being targeted because she's Kenyan and not African American. And so I think there's this ADOS kind of crowd that are targeting her because, excuse my language, she's not African American. Sorry, I haven't had 3 hours of sleep. And so that's I think a pretty ugly, attack, but that is one of the things they're saying. And they're saying that because she and Richelieu are not African American with lineage that goes back to enslavement in America, that they don't get it. One thing I will say, I don't think it's because of that, but I do think it is true that they don't get it. I actually think it's true. I had a conversation with Susan Taylor today at an
Mhm.
event that I was at earlier, the event we were supposed to be together at earlier today. And I said to Susan from the stage, we have never appreciated you more because there's something about the way Susan Taylor ran Essence that she seemed to intrinsically understand Black women. Right?
Right.
I don't know if you agree. I
Yeah.
feel like she just
No, I remember that. To
intrinsically
me, the magazine and the whole brand feels so different
different.
to
It's
me. And
different.
it was something that, and it's not because I'm older. There were women of all ages who felt a
Yes,
connection to Essence. I
correct.
feel no connection
No.
to this magazine or even their online brand now. I think they're trying too hard to get clicks. And I had some personal experience with that, with the story that
Yep.
was done on me. They're trying too hard. Their journalism seems to be a bit off. Maybe they've corrected that. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like the essence of old when Susan Taylor was there. It feels different. And the
And I think
festival seems to be an extension of that
this
whole thing.
exactly. And I think it's that maybe it's because she ran the brand for so long and we just so associated with. I mean, we opened Essence magazine and there would be her op-ed in the front. Like we're so used
Yeah, right.
to
In
her
the spirit.
in the spirit. And you had she had a little signature at the bottom. And that
Mhm.
signaled something to you that I think was important. And I think one of the things that they did wrong, that they not did wrong, but that they failed to do when they rolled over the brand out of her hands and into this new group is they made it sort of, Caroline Wanga is a wacky figure who's kind of made herself the show, but Susan Taylor didn't make herself the show. She
No.
was the show without saying she was the show. She never made herself more important than the magazine. She always was like, I'm affixed to the magazine brand, where our brands go together, but she never made it about her. She was never ostentatiously trying to get attention. She just was Essence. And I think that this new group needs to really figure out who your audience and your reader is and figure out how to connect with them in an authentic way. Cause I think that is hurting the
Yeah,
magazine and the festival.
I'm not saying that she stepped down anywhere. I'm not
And
seeing
right, so maybe not, but that's what people are saying. People are saying
I mean,
she's no
Richelieu
longer
resigned a while ago when there was a lot of controversy. There's that as CEO. Um, when there was, when a lot of Black women came forward. That was back in 2020. But I'm
right.
looking, I don't see anything about her stepping down.
This is what people are saying. They're saying that maybe she stepped away from being the head of Essence Fest, and maybe she's still Essence CEO. I'm not sure, but
Oh,
there's a lot of chatter that she's no longer over
okay.
Essence Fest,
Involved.
or that she's no longer there, and it's a whole it's part of the mess is that we have all this rumor mongering about who's even running the joint,
Yeah.
and I think that's actually just part of the messiness of the whole thing.
Part of the problem.
Yeah,
No, I would agree wholeheartedly. I hope they get it together. It's too important of a brand
yeah.
to just let go and just let die. But they do. I think there's a lot of complaints, and so they need to do something. They need to do something. Girl, this dog is giving me a time. But I know we got to wrap it up anyway because you got to go. We were supposed to stay with you for an hour and a half today, and we are well over that.
Well, over that, I'm about to go take a nap. I've had 3.5 hours of sleep because perimenopause is waking me up every 3 hours or so from my
No.
sleep. My melatonin is failing. So TMI, I'm literally like falling apart at the seams. So I'm gonna go take a nap. I'm gonna take my earrings off. I'm gonna wash off my face, take off my
Thank
lashes,
you.
and I'm gonna just go and get myself a little nappy poo.
Good.
And then after like a good hour power nap, then I will get up and I will watch TV because I deserve. I'm taking the night. We don't have a show tonight. I'm very excited. I
Yes.
have more the Delta Sigma Theta stuff tomorrow, but not until tomorrow. Tonight I rest.
Tonight we rest.
Tonight we rest.
Good. I have some recommendations for you, so I'll call you about that.
Please do.
Yeah, because I love to make sure you're watching all the things.
Yes.
All the good things. All right. Well, with that, we thank you for joining us for another episode of Read This, Read That. We thank you so, so very much. Please, on our YouTube channel, subscribe.
Yes.
Hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment. and share. Tell a friend so we can get our numbers up and continue to bring you what we bring you here.
Absolutely.
Please also go to joyannreed.com where you can follow all the many things, the laundry list of things that this one is doing. We never can get it the right way.
We never figure. I think this way.
This I
Camille?
don't know. Am I? That's it.
Y'all were right the first time.
Oh,
This way?
That way.
That's
it
so
makes
weird.
no sense.
It's
Yeah.
so wrong for me.
It's so wrong for me.
Oh my God. This is wrong.
Makes no sense.
This is right for me.
This is right for me.
Nope.
That's crazy. It needs to be
Crazy.
fixed some kind of
Flip
way. Okay. Well, go to joyannreed.com so you can follow all the things. Support our girl. Let's get her to 1 million before the end of the summer. That is the goal.
Yeah.
And it can happen. Subscribe. Do all the things. Tell everybody to watch the Joy Reid Show. Watch and support because she is, gosh, I'm burping. Doing the Lord's work, girl. Doing the Lord's work out there. She's working so hard to keep us informed with all the things that are going on. So make sure that you go and show her some love and support.
Thank you very much. And while you're at it, please make sure that you also go to the Jackie Reid Experience. You get all the fabulous Jackie Reid stories. She might actually send you a cat. Like there's a really good chance she'll send you a cat. So you should do it. And you should
want a cat, please take one.
And you should also go to vegansexycool.com because vegansexycool.com will make you vegan and sexy and cool. I'm telling you, y'all, we're going to do this show one day. She's going to try to make me vegan, sexy, and cool. I mean,
I am. It's going to happen. I'm coming to your house.
It might be hard to make me cool, but you're going to do your best. Vegansexycool.com is a wonderful Substack. It's so much fun. You get great recipes, even if you're not vegan and you just want to eat good food and you want to learn how to dress well and live a good life. You can still check it out and you can still do the recipes and then go ahead and eat you a burger on the side. You won't never know. And
a vegan burger. Yes, I will.
A vegan,
yes,
right,
I will.
a vegan burger. That's what I was meant to. That's what I meant. Yeah. And you can follow Jackie Reid on all of her things at Jackie Reid on Instagram and all of the wonderful places. But yes, as my cousin Sister Sorfor mentioned first, your first job before you do any of those things is to subscribe to this channel. Do it now. Become a part of the Cousin Nation. We've got so many great things coming up for you guys. So many great goodies, but you gotta be a subscriber and be on the team in order to be a cousin. Don't be coming up to us in the street and say, "Hey, cousin," if you didn't subscribe. That's what we're.
That's right.
Yes.
Be part of the Cousin Nation. Which
Yes.
I love.
Yes. And thank y'all for tuning in.
Yes.
We
We'll see you
appreciate
next
you.
time.
Goodbye.
Bye. Let Charlie live. Let Charlie the spider live. Run, Charlie, run.
Charlotte is hiding, and I cannot find he. He is gone.
Yay.
Charlie got away. Charlotte got away. Charlotte's gonna make it. Thanks to you, Charlotte is gonna live. Damn it.
Bye, you all. Bye.